When it comes to Stronghold 3, I honestly don't even know where to start. I've been a fan of Stronghold since Stronghold 1 and 2, and I really enjoyed playing the games and thought they were a lot of fun. So, when I started to hear the rumors that Firefly was going to be releasing a new Stronghold game, I was pretty excited. I thought that they had a winning strategy on their hands. I liked the castle simulators. I thought they were a lot of fun to play. So I just assumed, hey, Stronghold 3 is going to be great, right? And then we got the game. Oh, man. This is probably one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. And there's just so little about it that I can say was enjoyable or fun or that I actually thought was useful. But I'm going to give the game somewhat of a fair shot here. The only thing I found that was added to Stronghold that made it a better game was the inclusion of the free build mode. What I liked about it was it kind of gave you a chance to just focus on building a castle, and for someone like me who's just a giant nerd and likes to build awesome cities, it was a nice thing to have. The only problem is the rest of the game is just so broken that this new mode is basically useless. And then the rest of the game, there's just not much there to enjoy. So now that we've gotten through the very short list of things I thought were good in the game, let's get to all the negatives. First of all, Stronghold 3 did not include a skirmish mode or a map editor. Now when you look at most RTS, they have one of these two modes, and they do this in order to prolong game life and give you more content. With a skirmish mode, you can pick out a scenario, you start off with little resources, you gather the resources, and then you battle the computer in order to win the game. Adds a lot to the game, and is usually a lot of fun for someone who likes an RTS. And a map editor lets you create your own scenarios, give yourself all sorts of crazy things to do. Again, prolongs game life, gives more content. Now I'm not saying all RTS have to have this, or do have this, but it's generally something that helps. And Stronghold didn't have it. And it really hurt the game, because now you have to rely solely on the campaign. So how was the campaign? Awful. It was just terrible. The campaign cutscenes were, to me, one of the biggest and glaring problems. They were just cartoon drawings, I guess is the best way to describe them. There was no real cutscene. There was no real character development. There was no real good storyline. So if Firefly was trying to rely solely on the campaign for Stronghold 3, they failed there too. Well, was there any redeeming quality in the graphics? No. In fact, the graphics in Stronghold 3 are just not good. There's no other real way to describe them. The animations are sloppy, the textures aren't very good to look at, if that makes any sense. The game just is not visually appealing. And in some respects, I can let this go in an RTS because they have to be a little bit lower when it comes to the rendering and whatnot to make the game work. But in this case, the game just looked so terrible and so out of place for a release in 2012 that it's tough to just let it go. Not to mention, they had promised some sort of physics engine which would have the walls explode and pieces shatter everywhere, and that was just not in the game at all. There wasn't even an attempt at it. They just didn't do it. Just another thing to add to the list of stuff that this game failed at. The last thing that bothered me about this game, and it's kind of a minor thing, but it does get in the way and really affect a lot of other things, was the lack of a fast forward motion button. The characters walk very slow, and this wouldn't be a problem if there was a way to speed up the game. something that most RTSs do have. But Stronghold 3 didn't have it, so you're stuck in these painfully slow pacing that you have to wait 10 minutes to just gather the materials to finish a mission. It just interrupts the flow and is something that really ruins the entire game. As a sequel, Stronghold 3 is a major letdown, the likes of the Phantom Menace. It just totally failed to move the game along, and Firefly Studios really took a step backwards with this release. In fact, I'd be very hesitant to ever buy another Stronghold game unless I was sure it was going to be a true improvement. And as a game by itself is just a standalone game without looking at the other two games, it's not very good in that respect either. It's just a bad game, plain and simple. So that's what I thought of the game, guys. Let me know what you thought of Stronghold 3 if you played it in the comments. Also, just let me know what you thought of the video. I'm thinking about posting some more review type videos of some other games. Maybe some games that weren't such a letdown and disappointment. So yeah, that'll be it, guys. Thanks for watching.